All right, welcome. 3 thumbs up already. I just got here. You guys are amazing. You guys are on point today. I love it. Okay, so thank you for that. And welcome to the Dave Knows Wrestling Podcast. Back to the normal show. Had a quick live stream yesterday, in case you weren't there, because of the screw job. But today, here we are on the regular show as normally scheduled. Hey, Dakota Jennings, how are you? Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me. And here we go with the regular show. Now, I gotta admit, thank you for everyone who is showing up today. Thank you for the thumbs up. Hey, Warhawk Rambo. Thank you for everyone showing up today, and thank you for everyone who showed up yesterday at that surprise impromptu one. I know it must have been torture for everybody because we're mainly talking about the screw job yesterday. Thank you for the thumbs up. And there's so much wrestling news that happened, so much wrestling news today that happened, and we didn't really talk about much of it, and because we're saving it for today, thank you for the thumbs up. Up to 9 already. You guys are great. Okay, so, yeah, I know it must have been rough, but now, today, we get to talk about all the fun stuff that's been happening this week, and it's been a lot. What up, my two-legged dog? Long time, been busy. Hey, what is up, Manuel Gomez? I like that, that's pretty funny. So, yeah, so what up to the Dave Knows Wrestling Know-It-Alls? What is up, Pablo? Okay, so, what is going on? Okay, thank you for all the thumbs up, thank you for joining me here. What's going on? Hey! Little Undertaker fan, I see. Okay, hey, Dave, what's going on? Nice to see you. Nice to see you, too. And, hey, Undertaker? Awesome. Okay, so here we go. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up. All right, everyone's filing in. I'm going to let everyone continue to file in right now and see how things are going. Okay, so, hey, Man Bear Pig, what is up? I'm very tempted to see what a button does right here. Ooh. Hey, there's filters on this thing. I never knew that. Ah, no. Hey, what is up, Jenna? Never mind. There's a little button that I wanted to see what it did, and it gives me filters, and I don't want filters, so we'll move on. Spider Pig does whatever Spider Pig does. Nice. Hey, Jay. Man Bear Pig. All right, good. Okay, so, all right. Thank you for a thumbs up. 12 already. 12 guys here. 12 guys. Thumbs up. I like it. Okay, so let's start talking about, hey, what is going on? So let's talk about all the crazy news that's been happening this week in wrestling because a ton of it happened. And yesterday we dedicated to the screw job mostly. So now let's talk about what's going on. So the first thing right off the bat I got to talk about is, and there's a couple of things. There's too many things to fit in the title, but Y2J versus Kenny Omega. So big announcement, really cool reveal. Y2J, Chris Jericho is going against Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 12. Now this is huge news because Chris Jericho, Mr. WWE guy, since he's joined the company, he's been a fairly loyal WWE guy. He hasn't, in all the years, even after he's became a part-timer, even after the times he's kind of disappeared for a little bit. We never saw him go to TNA, he might have done, some smaller stuff, but for the most part, we just saw him in WWE, did not go to TNA, and now he's going to New Japan. One match, Kenny Omega. Now, as far as we know, it's one match going against Kenny Omega. Now, this is huge. And the circumstances behind this match are not clear because there are conflicting reports all across the board from different people saying different things. And we don't even know who's right or not. Okay, let me see. My favorite YouTuber. Yeah, wow. Thank you, Dakota. That is amazing. That is amazing. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Okay, Enzo beat Tyler clean. Okay. I want to go on Jericho's boat cruise. Me too. And see, that's the other thing. Now, so one story says that Jericho has this cruise, this rock and wrestling cruise that he's doing, where people are going to come on board. You get to see a little bit of live music, and you get to see some wrestling. Now, court on a boat, and allegedly the plan. Now, one story here says that Jericho wanted some NXT guys to come on and wrestle on the cruise, and WWE denied him. Said no, and because of that, Jericho got a little upset and says, I'm going to New Japan now, and he started his negotiations out of spite. And this came as a huge surprise to WWE, who had no idea that he was unhappy with that decision. And so some are speculating he's going to New Japan, and in return, he's going to get some New Japan guys to wrestle on this boat cruise thing. That's one story. Another story states that Jericho is still contracted, and one big issue that no one seems to get the answer to is whether or not Chris Jericho is still contracted with the WWE. Last night I said he was. Little did I realize by that time last night that I said this, that there was a report that he was not. Last night I said that he was not contracted with the WWE. Well, little did I realize that last night there was also a report that said he still, in fact, was. And now there's also other conflicting reports saying that no, he's not. He's a free agent, and he's been a free agent for the past 6 months. Well, some people are saying he's a part-timer, still on contract, and other people are saying he's not. No one knows yet what the actual truth is about his contract. Now, Jericho also had a birthday recently. I did not know his birthday is the same day as Screwjob, which is weird. But his birthday he just had a birthday, and Vince McMahon's Twitter account wished him a happy birthday. And that's there right there. So, well, some people speculated that Jericho might be on the outs because of this New Japan deal that he's definitely doing, that he's definitely going to have this match against Kenny Omega, and other people are saying that no, it's cool, it's fine that he has this deal, and Vince McMahon, there's no hard feelings, and he's going to come back probably in 2018. Welcome wishes, let him do what he needs to do. Benoit or Chris Jericho? Personally, for me, I go Benoit. I know that's a weird run, and I know that Jericho has way better mic skills than Chris Benoit. I just like Chris Benoit's wrestling more. Hair more. It's not big, and I know the jump between the mic skills is way bigger. It's just, I think Benoit had a natural kind of charisma that he didn't require talking, and I actually preferred it when he didn't talk, which is rare, and I actually kind of like that. Maybe this last year is a New Japan invasion angle. Maybe. I mean, the Bullet Club is almost an invasion by itself. So much wrestling news. I'm shocked AJ won the title. Yeah, don't worry, we'll get to that. Okay, coincidence? I think not. Man Bear Pig, it doesn't make sense. It's like they're trying to make him credible too late. Huh. Pegasus Kid or Lionheart? Pegasus Kid? Yeah, Jericho, pretty amazing in the ring. Yeah, he is. Not denying that. I mean, and here's the other part of me. In my top 10 list, you see that Benoit is in there and Jericho isn't. And Jericho's close, but I put Benoit above him. Benoit's specific style is just what I'm more prone to. Like, in terms of actual talent level, I realize they're close, and I understand their training is very similar. They train in similar places. Best pure wrestler ever is all round, probably Kurt Angle, I would have to say. And Jericho is too. It's just, Benoit is more my preference. I would say just all round in terms of character, charisma, as well as great in-ring work and a variety of moves and different styles, and, mat technicians and all that, and being able to submit and take to the sky a little bit. It's got to be Kurt Angle number one. I don't think you're going to find anybody as good as Kurt Angle. And then Chris Jericho is number two. Because they could do it all. They were good, as personalities. They were also good at telling stories, and they were also good, technically speaking, in a variety of different ways. And after that, it's a question mark, because I think it's just, but they're not my personal favorites. It's just who I think are the best. Okay. I hope that whole Zayn thing is a whole total work. Me too. All right. So back to the Jericho Omega thing, and now some people are speculating that Jericho is being sent to New Japan by Vince McMahon. Now, this is a new one, is that Jericho's still contractually obligated, and he's going over there trying to entice Kenny Omega to come to WWE, and it's all a trick to entice Kenny Omega. And the reason why people are speculating this is because January, New Japan contracts are up after Wrestle Kingdom. It's kind of how they do it. And right after Kenny Omega and Jericho's match, Jericho's expected to return, and also the Royal Rumble, where people can magically show up as surprise entrants. It's not out of line, so there you go. So these are the things, we don't know the answers yet, but that's huge news. But either way, we're getting Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho, Wrestle Kingdom 12, and I cannot wait for that match alone. Whatever happens after that, happens after that. But that match alone is going to be good. Right now, Okada or Omega? Okada for me. I'm a very big Okada fan. I like Kenny Omega a lot too, but right now I take Okada. Omega's on fire, though. No doubt about that. Hey, Dave, question. Why was Zayn and Kevin Owens sent home? Good question. We'll move on to that as the next phase, unless you guys, if you guys have any other comments about Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho, please, don't be afraid to shout them out, and I'll get to them. But right now, I'm just gonna, let's move. I'm gonna move on to the Zayn and Kevin Owens thing, because as minor of a story as that is in comparison to all the other things that happened this week, it's huge for me. Okay, nephew, I'm late. Hey, Arthur, how y'all been? Okay, I'm good. How are you, Arthur? Kenny said he ain't going nowhere. Yes, but so many have said they ain't going nowhere, and they end up going somewhere. So can't take that to heart, because you never can tell. You can never trust anyone in pro wrestling. It's a business, as I've said, of gypsies, tramps, and thieves, which is an old song for those who might not know. Okay, what are your thoughts on Bound for Glory? Okay, so all right, so let's do the Kevin Owens thing and Sami Zayn thing. We'll go with that. How much I missed? Not much. We just talked about Omega and Jericho. The big thing, but there's not a lot of meat there. Just I'm excited for a match, and there you go. Okay, so so WWE twice a year they do the European tour, and it's a grueling schedule. They visit about two cities a day over 2 weeks or so. They have a Patron is back. Hey, they have a it's a grueling schedule. It's like they have a grueling schedule where it's a lot of traveling. People are on edge, and it allegedly brings out the worst in people backstage, because they very little rest, and they're just moving beat to beat to beat, wrestling, and it's tough. Now, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were sent home, and this, keep in mind, Kevin Owens was also sent home from prior, because he had personal family issues. His family needed him home, and that wasn't that long ago. So now Kevin Owens is being sent home from tours twice now within a short amount of time. And now the reason for this, they're saying, is Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are unhappy and are very difficult to work with backstage. And the biggest incident, or one incident, and some people are saying this is not the big reason, and other people are saying it is what happened on SmackDown. On SmackDown, what was supposed to go down was when Kofi Kingston and Sami Zayn were going at it, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were supposed to take a bit of a beatdown, and take a bit of a beatdown from the New Day. Kevin Owens was supposed to run in, beat up on Kofi, and then they were supposed to both take the beating from the New Day, but instead, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn just left the ring. New Day was left in the ring not knowing what to do, because they knew what was supposed to be the finish and they didn't get there. So, as a result, some were saying that WWE was very happy, especially Vince McMahon saying that, oh, thank you for the thumbs up, by the way, very unhappy about this, and sent them directly home because they're not listening, they're not following orders, and that's bad. Other people were saying that, yes, that was a bad thing that happened, but a lot of people were saying that the real reason they were leaving or sent home is because they've had a terrible attitude backstage and been very difficult to work with. Now, this coincides with some old reports from Jim Cornette, who said that the guys are notoriously difficult to work with, that they're almost diva-like. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, and I am a big Kevin Owens and thank you for the thumbs up, and Sami Zayn fan, so I'm not like denouncing them or anything like that. I'm just saying that there are other reports that they can be difficult to work with. So this does kind of line up, unfortunately. Best match. What is the best matches ever? That's a loaded question. Let me get back to the chat. So while you guys talk about what you guys think, that's a very loaded question. Hard to say. What have they done for Sami, really? I agreed, as my video on 7 Reasons Why They're Not Pushing Him concurs with. I hear you. NXT was great to him. Bullet Club are a whole bunch of them. Let New Japan keep them. Okay. Not sure about that. El Patron, punking JB was funny. How long before Zayn and Owens win tag belts? Wow, who knows? How much longer are they going to be in the company if these reports are true? Wouldn't the beatdown be anti-face? New Day? Well, okay, let me clarify. It was more supposed to be a feeding as a term where, because Owens is beating up Kofi Kingston after the match, he's being the heel. New Day isn't picking on Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. The New Day is simply defending themselves because they were picking on Kofi. That's kind of the thing. Big thumbs up, Dave. Thank you. Big thumbs up to you, Jeremy. Okay. I heard Cornette shoot. It did make me think maybe. It's well, here's the thing, because I'm one of those guys, and now I do have a video where I talk about this a little bit more, but I do always have the I have suspected that Jim Cornette and the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn thing, El Generico thing, Kevin Steen thing was a work. I didn't think it was serious. That's kind of partly where I'm coming from. Now, I don't want to get into that now, but I mean, one of the big things that, and I'm a fan of all those guys. So, I mean, one of my major reasons for it is how things don't really line up. Like Kevin Owens, if you know his family situation, Kevin Owens, you know, it was stated that Jim Cornette said something bad, derogatory about Kevin Owens' son. And I think that's cold. You don't do that kind of thing. Like, that's messed up, you know. But then Jim Cornette, on the other hand, has never, as far as I know, has never confirmed that happened. He claimed, you know, from what I know, Jim Cornette didn't do that. So that makes me wonder, you know, that's an inconsistency. So it makes me think maybe it's a shoot. Maybe it's a work. Maybe they're just, you know, going along with this. Especially since Jim Cornette put the title on him in Ring of Honor, and now, yeah, I mean, sure, you know, business is business. You know, maybe that's a different thing. It's just, you know, I always kind of believe that maybe it was a work. Arthur. But this new attitude of theirs coincides with Sami's heel turn. That's true. That is true. And I mean, I'm not a fan of the heel turn. I know a lot of people think it's brilliant work, and I'm not saying he's doing a bad job. I just think it's a bad move, because I think Sami is a natural face, and I think he's so over with the crowd. How could you possibly turn him bad? It's like when you have wrestlers that, you know, I understand the shot in the arm principle, but I don't think you do it for certain people, and I don't think Sami Zayn's one of them. What do you think about having Braun for a new IC champ? I think it'd be great. Braun needs a championship, and he's on fire now. I like The Miz, but Strowman needs a title. It'll help the IC in the long run. Yes, I agree that Braun needs a title. I really think you just need to put him in the. I think the time was to take the Universal strap off of Brock and give it to him. I think he should have won at SummerSlam. I think he should have won before that. Blah 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 blah. Braun goes there. I mean, I feel he doesn't have the IC feel to him, and that's kind of my biggest issue with it. And well, I'm not a fan whatsoever of Brock's part-time schedule holding a main title, but I do like a little more mystique behind the world champion, or the universal champion in this case. I want Braun, so if Braun was champion, if Braun was the champion, I see no problem with him just defending, you know, every pay-per-view, and very, very rarely on Raw, defending on Raw if possible. But with the IC champ, I'm an old Bret Hart kind of fan, you know, and even the John Cena's U.S. Open Challenge. I like the idea of the mid-card belt being every week. You should see this defended almost every week, if not every week. And Braun wrestling every week, defending that title, definitely not. You know, he doesn't scream like IC material to me. Finn Balor does. You know, AJ Styles WWE champion, but he, you know, that's an Intercontinental champion to me. Like, there's certain people who fit in this wavelength, and I don't think Braun counts as it. I mean, I hear you that it's going to elevate the IC title. Absolutely, I get you. But I would rather just settle on the main event. I agree he needs a belt. I would just rather him. I just want him to have the Universal title. Jim Cornette is a bitter old man. I do agree with Jim Cornette on a lot of things. Oh, wow, wow, our friends are gone. Wow, wow, we don't want our job or New Day. Oh, thank you for bringing that up. It's not the way I would have brought it up, Arthur, but yes, allegedly there's also a reason why they're upset is because Adrian Neville's gone. And that's the thing. With Nia Jax walking out for a little bit and taking a little bit of a break, with Adrian Neville, with so many people getting frustrated and walking out, it seems that there is this feeling of unhappiness backstage for a lot of people in the WWE. And why is that? There has to be a correlated issue. And is this going somewhere? Is this going to be, hey, you can stand up for yourself, and you know, if you're not happy with something, walk out, and the issues will be resolved. Or is it going to be, a la CM Punk, or it's where the issue doesn't get resolved and it's just kind of shit. You just shot your WWE career in the foot, or even like a Stone Cold Steve Austin, where you get fined a lot of money even though you're welcome back. That's the thing. Okay, just say it. Braun isn't good enough wrestler. No, I am not saying that, Arthur. Man, do not put those words in my mouth. Braun is a good wrestler. I like Braun a lot. I just don't think he's a nice. Braun's got to be special. Like back in the day, for those who know, like Hulk Hogan, Primetime Wrestling. Did you see Hulk Hogan wrestling on Primetime Wrestling? No. Braun is the powerhouse. I don't mind him being on the show, but I don't want him wrestling every week. That's for sure. I don't mind him having occasional matches on Raw, but definitely not an every week kind of guy. If he holds the belt, you gotta say, work up to that Brock Lesnar thing. Work up to the Braun Strowman thing. Brock, too much, too little, too far between. Braun, fine. And plus, Braun just doesn't fit the IC mold to me. Did you ever go back? Do you think WWE ever go back to TV 14? Yeah, I think they will. I think the future of WWE is probably going to be on the network. I do think the network will eventually garnish more shows that they can do their own kind of content for, whichever kind of content they desire. And I think that's where things are going to go. I don't think Raw and SmackDown, or at least not both of them, will ever be exclusively on the network. I don't think everything will only be on the network. And the only reason I think that is because you need a way to bring in new fans. You need some sort of program that's just on TV. Unless we change the way things go, who knows? Maybe they'll open a YouTube channel or something. But there has to be a way for casual fans to just flip around and try something out for free. They're not expecting new fans to just buy the network $10 a month just to see something that they, may not end up liking or committing to. I think it's going to be something that they're eventually going to do. They're going to have more content on the network, and that network content is going to cater towards older demographics. And, my other thing, talking about AJ Styles with, what happened, goes to show that when it comes to marketing and all that, there's certain logics that WWE should be following, but sometimes doesn't. And the biggest one is when they did the Attitude Era, they grew up with their fans roughly my age, were children during the Hulkamania time period. Then they, we became teenage years and, got the adolescence, all the angst and everything. And then we got the Attitude Era. It was like prime for my generation. Wrestling grew with me. Similar to video games. Video games grew up with me. We started out on the 8-bit, Mario, Nintendo thing, and then they started getting more sophisticated and more adult type of video games started showing up. While they did have a, more adult level titles content when I was younger, it didn't really sell that well. Video games were primarily for little kids. And then when you got older, all of a sudden Mortal Kombat and that, when I was like, hitting that age bracket, and then it got, and it followed me along. And wrestling was very, very similar. And so by that rationale, though, when we look at wrestling, younger people and everything like that they're catering to now, trying to build the wrestling fans of the future, I think what's going to be good about that is when these kids grow up old enough and they have money to spend $10 a month or whatever, then they'll go into WWE Network phase. So I think it's a smart idea if they start having all that stuff primed and ready for these kids when they get to that age bracket where they can spend $10 a month and it's not a big deal. Okay, let me try to catch up on the chat. Dave, Perfect 10 needs to win the U.S. title, turn it into SmackDown. Okay, I would love Ty Dillinger to win a title. Ty Dillinger on my underrated list. And I will say this much. He fits the IC belt. He fits the IC mode very well, I think. What do you think of CZW? For some parts of CZW has entertained me, but for the most part, I'm not a CZW guy. It's a little too ridiculous. Like one of the worst things I ever saw in CZW. As I said, good stuff there has been some good stuff in CZW. I have a video about the Osirian portal. There are stuff in CZW, so I'm not trying to land blast the whole thing. I'm just saying there are a lot of aspects of CZW that it was just too ridiculous for me. And the worst thing I ever saw, like it wasn't. And I'm not going to harp on them for being in a cornfield or anything like that. Wrestle where you can, whatever. But the thing I am going to harp on them for, and they do some things that definitely make you tough. That definitely mean, you got a set on you if you're going through it. But one of the things about CZW, the dumbest thing I ever saw that just really turned me off to it, because I have a friend, he sometimes appears on the live chat all about CZW, it was two guys facing off against each other, and they started building like a home entertainment set, like a shelving unit, but they were building it together. They weren't like fighting each other. They were building it. They stopped fighting to build this set together, and instead of the boards, they were putting sheets of glass in where the boards of the shelf would go, and wrapping in barbed wire, and then pouring broken glass and light bulbs and all this stuff in there. And they're building this like contraption together, like they're building furniture. And then they start fighting to put each other through it. The visual of two people just working together to build this when they're supposed to be hating each other in the middle of the match, it was just too stupid for me. It was just too ridiculous. I couldn't watch anymore. ECW 2008 was terrible. Absolutely agree. And somehow I got people to complain about that on that video. Some people telling me that was good. There are just some weird things that trolls are willing some weird points that trolls are willing to take up. All right, so where was I? Oh, and thank you for all the thumbs up, by the way. Do you have a favorite wrestling promotion? Yeah, in the end, I'm a WWF kind of guy. I respect ECW a lot more, and NWA. It's weird. I have like more respect for other companies in a way, but WWF is what I grew up on. It's the biggest brand there is. There's just too much familiarity, comfort, and they've just been around, just been the most dominant. It's just too easy. They better working on food stamps over there in WWE. Something has to change. Yeah, they have too much talent. They got to start cutting the roster or expand. Yeah, those are your options. Do you think there's a brand reunion in the near future? Say big title unification. I wish, but no, I don't think so. What's the most recent Sin Cara push though? Did he pull a gun? He don't need to, He kept with Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho's no slouch in a real life fight. Just keep that in mind. The Sin Cara push, I don't know. Honestly, it's surprising. I agree. He is injured. No push for him. Well, okay. Well, way to rain on that parade. Do you think Owens and Zayn would come back? Cause I doubt that Neville ever coming back. Neville might. You never know. But no time in the near future. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, I don't think they're fired. I think they are there. But the biggest glaring hole for me is that neither one of a big question I have is that neither one of them had any talks or plans for Survivor Series that I know of. And Survivor Series is almost here. And the bigger question is when they had AJ move up to the main event, get the title, and he was no longer fighting against Rusev for the spot in the team, which Rusev, I gotta admit, is also kind of getting hosed being on the Survivor Series team. But they had this glaring hole, and it didn't go to Rusev, it's going to John Cena. How come neither Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn is complaining about that? Now, I think from a storyline perspective, it makes no sense. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn should hate Shane McMahon, since what just happened. So why would they want to help Shane? But still, I think it's a very odd thing. The only thing I've been rooting for, or kind of hoping, is that it comes down to Kurt and Shane. Jason Jordan turns on Kurt Angle. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn come down, turn on Shane. I don't care which happens first, but you think the ending is going to be a swerve because someone got turned on, and then the other team gets turned on by someone else. Like that's where I would like to see things go. Just because it would be a double swerve, so I think that'd be kind of cool. WWE, I lost interest in those fools with the invisible hand grenade. You don't like the Colony? What about the Colony? Against Baron Corbin. Dang, hope he gets better. It seemed like he was getting a small push out of nowhere. Yeah, but they did the same thing with Kalisto. Yeah, but they did the same thing with Kalisto, and so I don't. Until the push starts bearing fruit, I remain skeptical. I think 205 and Raw will be PG and SmackDown will be TV-14 in the future. That's a possibility, but my biggest thing is I don't view it that way. It's definitely there. Okay, the reason I don't think that way is because the way. And it changes. But the reason I don't view it that way is because of the way sponsorship networks and commercials work. If Raw is sponsored by, Kmart or McDonald's or whatever, the WWE brand is highly reflective of SmackDown as well. They're not as separate as while they seem like separate shows and all that. Mainstream media still says this is a television program and they're the same thing. So if PG sponsor, and the other thing is, their sponsors don't like certain adult level content. They're like family brands, and they want to only sponsor programs that are family brands. So if a family oriented company like McDonald's, or I'm just naming companies here. Okay, I'm not saying that these are actual sponsors, but like Disney Pixar new movie or something like that. If they're sponsoring Monday Night Raw, but then on SmackDown, there's like a bra and panties match or something like that, they're going to be upset and they're going to pull funding and they're not going to support them anymore. So even though that's not the show they're sponsoring, they can't, even if they're just sponsoring Raw, have a commercial on Raw but not on SmackDown, it doesn't matter. They want to pull content. They probably won't want to be associated with that brand, or if some character on SmackDown, drops, some sort of derogatory term or something like that. Same thing. They'll pull off a Raw, and just because of what happened on SmackDown, it doesn't matter. But the network is different because that's a paid sponsorship program. It's a paid service. That's totally different. So, and it's the same thing like with Disney, for example. I don't know if they still have it, but Disney at one point in time had Touchstone Films and Hollywood Films, which were divisions of Disney. And they just put these movies under like Touchstone Films or whatever, just because to create a little bit of separation. Not saying that Touchstone was like, raunchy or anything like that, but they understand that the Disney brand has a certain connotation to it. And if they wanted to make a film that they didn't want that they thought, okay, if we put Disney over this movie, people were kind of like older people were going to say, like, teenagers go, it's a Disney movie, forget it. So instead they put Touchstone on it, so people just go, oh, okay, it's, not a Disney movie. So I, as a, 18-year-old or 20-year-old or whatever, I can watch this movie and not feel like it's lame or for little kids. And that's the reasoning. So I'm just pointing out, like, I'm just thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you. I'm just pointing out that that's how marketing works. So if you have something that's totally separate and very different, like the network, you could do what you want, and that's why. And we also see that there is old ECW and Attitude Era stuff on the network, so that's why it's different. And we know that you can put more adult level content here, and while putting more PG content on regular TV. So that's how that works. And once again, as I said, going up with kids as they get older, and they're able to afford $10 a month, and then all their friends say, hey, on the network, there's even cooler stuff now. They're like, oh, this is becoming an adolescent. They said, wow, awesome. Like, that trick would work on me. Okay, once I got old enough where I started getting money and $10 a month was possible, you told me that I could get the pay-per-views, and then you tell me on top of that I could get, on top of that I could also get like hardcore matches, extreme matches and stuff like that, things where they kind of curse a little bit more. As a kid, yeah, all right, I'll mow a lawn, shovel a driveway, $10 a month. I could do this. I could figure this out. That's how my brain will work. Mattel wouldn't like having WWE turn TV-14. Exactly. So that's the thing. But the network, they can get away with that for. Damn. Okay. Disney expanded all pieces of their brand. Yeah. Right. Marvel, Netflix, because well, that's a very different story. I was just alluding to a quick example. Okay. So Mattel's, can you wrestle? Depends on what context you mean that in. Amateur, no. I haven't done that in 20 years or so. Possibly more, probably more. Pro wrestle? To what level? And I also haven't done anything of that nature in a very long time either, so I'm not even sure. I mean, a separate new show that's a network exclusive. Yeah, that's possible. That's possible, Mario. Now, see, I'm with you on that. I think that's more likely. Dave, why people say they hate Cena and Reigns because they're overpushed, but they like Styles, even though he has less than 2 years, has become a two-time WWE champion. I think that's overpushed. Interesting got that, but let's move into the AJ Styles thing. So okay, so in case the cat's at WrestleMania, what do you think? Booker T, Triple H. Booker T was supposed to go over WrestleMania 19. That's pure ridiculous. It's completely awful, and I hate Triple H, so that's also not helping. Lucha Underground. It was all right. I didn't love Lucha Underground. It's canceled. Not surprised. There you go. But let's move into the AJ Styles. As a decade of talented performer under his belt. Okay, here's the thing. AJ Styles won the championship. First time that I'm aware of, as far as I'm concerned, I think I'm correct in this. First time the WWE title has changed hands outside of North America. It's changed hands in Canada, but But in North America, that was the first time, and AJ Styles has that distinct honor, which is pretty cool. And as I've gone off on the live chat repeatedly, on more than one occasion, I hate Jinder Mahal being champion. I'm not a Jinder Mahal fan. And I definitely don't like him as champion. And a lot of my reasonings that I've been saying over the past... And I just want to point something out. There have been a lot of things I've been talking about recently. And, well, I don't see other YouTubers necessarily agreeing or jumping on board with me. It seems like WWE is following suit. Young Buck super kick. I also hate Shawn Michaels. So we're going to make that happen. We're going to let that know. The phenomenal AJ Styles. Hey, Raw. Styles competed in 2001. Yes, he did. And Samoa Joe was also in WWE before everyone thinks he was. Yes. Booker T got screwed. Yeah, he did. Do you think Jimmy Jacobs getting fired over the Selfie or Bullet Club can benefit Impact if they use it? Well, of course. If they use it, but Impact has proven to be kind of stupid, so who knows what they're going to do. Which Underground just announced season. Oh, they did. All right. Well, I stand corrected. I thought they were done. Well, thank you for that, Monty Martinez. WWE will make Jinder Mahal two-time champion after Survivor Series for the upcoming Indian tour. That's what some people are speculating, or possibly win it in the Indian tour. That is a possibility. I'm not going to deny that. It'd be nice if they did an old school thing where he wins it in India, but then they undo it and not tell anybody, like what they did to Flair a whole bunch of times. I have gone on that. Lucha Underground isn't canceled. Okay, well, thank you for correcting me. I thought it was. I don't know where I heard that or why I thought that, but there you go. I think I went off on that last week. I have gone off on a lot of reasons why I hate Shawn Michaels. I will try to put a pin on that. If you're still around later on, maybe I'll go on another rant again. But let's just keep it with the AJ thing from now. I think it's done the right way. You can have a great, but 1 week is getting squash first match and then squeeze WWE champion. Do you think Brock's match with AJ would be like Brock's match with CM Punk but better? Yes, I do. Like they did to Antonio Inoki. Yep, there you go. I mean, I don't really want them to do that. I was just saying that it'd be funny if they did. Just with the internet, I don't think you can anymore. What do you think about Cena versus Orton? And do you want another match? No, I wanted that match really badly when both the guys were young, because I said this is going to be the match. This is going to happen. And to the best of my knowledge, I think the first time we got that match was Eddie Guerrero's tribute night on Raw after, the tribute to Eddie Guerrero Raw. I think that was the main event. And I think that was the first time I saw it. I could be wrong. It might have happened before that, but that's the earliest one I can remember. But I've seen that match billions of times, and I don't need it ever again. Ever again. I don't care ever again. What if he's a face in India? That would be scary. Dave doesn't want to show me because he's... That is not the reason why. WWE fans will create fake news about their companies because they think the wrestling world revolves around WWE. What's that pertaining to? Yeah, Bear Pig. If Brett offered to lock you into the sharpshooter, would you let him? Of course I would. Of course I would. And he's gonna say, hey, what is up, Clarence? Jinder face? A face, not even... It is rough. Okay. Shawn Michaels is a phony and title whining manipulative. Jenna brings up some lovely points. And that's not even all of it, but yes. And I think Jenna could feel this quite well for me. Okay, so, where was I? So the AJ title win. All right, so one of the things I've been saying is that Jinder is just a terrible champion. And some people said, oh, this is a good idea because you're trying to cultivate that Indian money. And I said, well, and I've been saying, what good is it if you're trying to get a little bit of potential gain, but you lose what you already have? Domestically, SmackDown attendance, money, drop. Jinder Mahal was champion, no items of merchandise whatsoever. When he first became champion, there was nothing on the WWE shop, as far as I know of. He didn't have one item of merch. So the kind of spike that you get from a new champion getting merchandise, you lost it. Domestically, sales are going down and everything. So all for a potential gain. You lost so much domestically. But moving on, since Jinder's title run, Indian subscribers for the network went down. So you dropped down, so you didn't even achieve that goal. It was a colossal failure. They should have pulled the plug on it a long time ago, and they were just plain stupid for holding on to it. They should have done this a long time ago, and there you go. And if you saw the English crowd when they were in the UK, if you saw them pop for AJ winning the title, but AJ Styles is not British, doesn't matter. They like AJ Styles. That's what you do. The over guy gets the belt. And I've said this before about people who don't like Cena. Cena speaks multiple languages. I forgot how many, but Cena speaks multiple languages. If you want a guy to cater to a foreign market, how about a guy who's been shown to be charismatic? I know a lot of people hate John Cena, but I'm just saying this is a guy who's willing to learn another language for you. This guy's willing to travel overseas for you, and he pots with kids, okay? And you might not like that, but it's still a better plan to find a guy that dedicated, learn a language, cater to a foreign market. Better off doing that than just naively thinking that because this guy is a similar racial background as this group, let's just put him over there and that'll make them give us money. That's not how people work. People aren't that racist, even if Vince McMahon is. I think Orton is lazy. Actually, all the third gens are lazy. Bo is good, but his contact with the Miz is being lackey. Heck, even Axel doesn't petition for a title. Yeah, Orton is lazy. I agree with you on that. And I hear you on the third generation thing. But, Bo and Axel being in their position, I think is just WWE not knowing what to do with them. And I don't think they're happy about it. I think if either one of them had a choice, they wouldn't be Mrs. Lackeys. If they're going to pick a three-man band member for the world title run, they should have picked Slater. Over Jinder, absolutely. Why is WWE so stubborn? They can't realize that Mahal is terrible for business, even Khali. And thank you. And that's another point I've brought up. If an Indian champion makes money in India, then how come when Khali did it, had the belt, why did that not work? And I brought that up before. At least we can help him feed his kids. He's Slater, yeah. Dave, I really like your vids. My favorite is the different styles of pro wrestling. Even my trainer who runs a promotion has subscribed. Whoa, thank you. Now, that is awesome. I got a pro wrestling trainer subscribed to me. I like that. That is amazing. Thank you for being there. And thank you to your trainer. Thoughts on the fall of TNA? I am surprised they are still alive now. Good for them at this point. I thought that ship was sailed a long time ago. John Cena can do things that most people cannot. Like the handspring stunner. Because Reigns has no charisma and cannot do anything that seems extraordinary. What is the point of pushing him? I agree, Jeremy. I agree. Other than WWE, Vince McMahon just being stubborn and saying this is how things go because I said so. Especially since Jinder is Canadian and they know that. Yeah, a lot of people like to bring up the Canadian thing, but that's not the point. WWE isn't trying to sell him on his nationality. They're selling him on his ethnicity. They're selling him on his race. So, I mean, yeah, I know everyone brings that away. He goes, he's Canadian. He's not. It's not that. It's just this. It's just his racial background. If that's their. I'm not agreeing with the mentality. As I made it very clear, I don't agree with the mentality. I'm just saying that's where they're coming from. That's what they're thinking. They're thinking that just this. Just looking of similar race is all that you need. Okay, you excited for Wrestle Kingdom 12? Yeah, yes I am. I am now. I don't even think I care if there's other matches on the card at this point. I want other matches. I think I would be happy. I am very curious to know what they're going to... Because the thing was, how are they going to top Omega and Okada in terms of grandeur? It was very hard to do, so it seems like they found the way. Now, what is Okada going to do? Interesting question. TNA is on life alert. Yeah, it is. TNA needs to be bought by Sinclair. I think TNA needs to be bought by WWE. I think it's really for the best at this point. Do you think Big E could win WWE Championship? I would like him to. Honestly, no. I want him to, and he should. And there's an outside chance, but he's got too many factors working against him by pattern recognition. Not by my logic, but by WWE pattern recognition. Okay. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up, guys. Just by recognition of common patterns they do of people they don't push. He won the NXT champ. I would say yes. I would like him to. Yeah, I hear you. Naito versus Okada. I think that's the obvious one to go with. Ablo, I agree with you on that. Hey, Dave, why do people say they hate Cena and Reigns? Oh, because they're overpushed. All right. Okay, yes. I will get to that. Okay. I don't think AJ Styles is overpushed. He has been with the company less than 2 years, and he's won the title twice. His first championship run. Okay, now when it comes to being overpushed, he is over. He's extremely over. WWE was keeping him not wrestling on SmackDown and doing it as a dark main event to try and get people to pay tickets for SmackDown. For me, over pushing is when it doesn't match the level of over the guy is. Now, Cena was over with children, and I myself like Cena. I think people give him has a bad rap, but he wasn't super over. There was a huge chunk of people who hated him, and now he has as many titles as Ric Flair. That definitely is in balance. He's not that over. You know, like Stone Cold or The Rock was on that level. Even I don't think they deserve to be. I don't think they deserve to have that many titles. But yeah, okay, that's understandable because they were insanely over. Cena was never that over, and Roman Reigns I think is worse. And you know, he had the title. He won the title 3 times. And how many main event matches? And even beyond just pushing, but how many times were they in the main event over and over and over again? The levels don't match as far as I'm concerned. What do you think? Roman wins the Rumble and faces Elizabeth. Now, look, I would like to, and I'm kind of planning, hoping at least to go to Royal Rumble this year. And the first Royal Rumble I ever went to, and the last Royal Rumble, Roman Reigns won, and I'll be furious if I end up the 2 Royal Rumbles I go to see Royal Rumble wins by Roman Reigns twice. I will be beside myself. And the first and only WrestleMania I ever went to, he won the title at, and I just can't take it. I can't. Kane's tombstone or the Undertaker's tomb? Gotta go with the OG. Well, not the OOG, but I gotta go with the Undertaker then. A little off topic, but what do you think of Total Bill? So not my cup of tea at all. I don't watch him. Someone say Jinder's a good heel. I don't. Ric Flair's a good heel. Miz is a good heel. Jinder's not. Yep, I agree with that, Mario. Remember ECW? Cena. Who deserves a push who hasn't had one yet? Cesaro, main event push. My number 1 answer. Roman Reigns is always a Royal Rumble disappointment. Yeah, he is. I just saw you were live, man. Hey, Nathan. Just finished watching Superstar Billy Graham versus Dusty. So cool. Yeah, that is a good one. Bailey is my favorite, and I started to train because of her. Cool. What happened to her on the main roster? She isn't that over as she was in NXT. No, but in England they were singing the Hey Bailey song, so I was glad to see that. WWF didn't do her justice like they do. WWE has just been kind of dropping the ball with so many people because they just have no idea what they're doing with them. And all of the women, I think, have fallen into similar categories. They've just dropped the ball on all of them. I mean, the verdict's not out on Asuka yet, but I think off the bat they kind of slowed her momentum. So it just seems like they're too dumb to do anything right when it comes to this. I'm Tommy. I'm Amy Moore's brother. Hey, Tommy. Well, Tommy Moore. Okay, peace out to Tommy Moore. Boxer. That's the name of a boxer. But hey, welcome. Any family of Amy is always welcome here. Amy's good people. Okay, we'll like to see KO versus Zayn in a ladder war match again. Yeah, no, that was the thing. Kevin Owens and Finn Balor having that ladder match in NXT, I thought was an interesting choice. I was kind of surprised that they did it, but I feel you. I don't want Impact to be bought out by WWE. Let's remember the awful. No, I hear you, but I don't see. Here's the thing. I think that the reason why it's different is I'm hoping that WWE learned its lesson. Whether they did or not is a different story. But it's also a different circumstance because New Japan is really the number 2 company. TNA is not. Impact is not. By absorbing TNA is not like going to be a monopoly because they're not. TNA is so low on the totem pole right now, it accomplishes nothing. Support Wrestle Talk. Support, yeah, me too if you feel like it. On Patreon. I don't have that cute slogan of $1 a month or anything like that. I didn't want to rip them off too hard, but I was like, does that work? Supporting me on Patreon, super chats and all that stuff. If I just keep asking for it, will it happen? Hey, thank you for the thumbs up, speaking of which. thank you for everyone giving that support. Oh yeah, it was. Whoever wins Royal Rumble is going to be sidelined by Roman Reigns. Can the NWA compete with WWE in the future? Anything's possible, but Not looking likely. Here's the messed up part. According to one report, NWA is technically still owned by WWE, or WWE can use the NWA Championship, the NWA brand, anytime they want. According to one report I heard, it's a little subtle legal detail that was made around 1998, if I remember correctly, that gives WWE control, and they've just never taken advantage of it. So the problem I see it is, if NWA does take over and do well, WWE will just start exercising that right all of a sudden. Like when they found out their light heavyweight title was on WCW. Wait, what? Whoops. Bring it. Like they're just going to call him that ship. Hey, he's on my channel. New Jack is great. I'm a big fan of New Jack. Who's a better champion in your opinion, Roman or Roman Reigns? Loving people still watched when Roman was champ. I was tempted to leave WrestleMania early. And I was ready to go nuts in Philly with a lot of other Philadelphians ready to get all angry who were demanding their money back. But I didn't actually. But I think, I don't think I've attended. I haven't attended anything since Jinder won the belt, and I'm not contributing any financial thing to SmackDown specifically since he won the title. Jenna, WWE knows how to write one female character. Yeah, Stephanie McMahon. Jenna's got a point. And Bayley's one of those things so creative. Yeah, it's also the fact is the women don't have enough time. They really don't. 205 Live gets more airplay than the thing is you can't build. This is a complicated issue. And I'm trying to think of how to begin it, but you can't build the women's division. The women have one belt. And it's just a rotating door of whose turn is it now for every pay-per-view of who gets it going. You can't build it up because you don't have a mid-card, you don't have a job squad, you don't have people working towards aspiring this championship. In NXT, they have that where, you have the women's champion, she's there sometimes. And it's the same thing with the men. And even though there are more men's matches than women's matches on NXT, you have at least a smaller roster where you see these women competing and you're trying to say, okay, whoa, she just won this match. Oh, I want her to go against it for the title. I think she earned it. Whoa, wait, what? This other girl's been doing well too. And you can see it, where you can kind of like root for certain things. Raw doesn't have it. It's just, everyone's getting a turn. Everybody, the women, a championship opportunity for the women's title is the town bike. Everyone's getting a shot at it. That's all it is. Or doorknob or whatever. Everyone's getting a chance at this, so you don't care about the belt. Now, in terms of the character work, there are certain wrestlers, male or female, that can only get over well in one specific type of venue. Like I think Colt Cabana is an indie guy. Like he does really well as an indie guy. I don't think his style and his and all the things about Colt Cabana that make Colt Cabana great could get over in a mainstream way. In my opinion, I like Colt Cabana. I'm just saying that this tag team title. It's not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but they also need more airtime, if that's the case. Are you excited about War Games? I very much am, despite the stupid rules. I'm still very excited for War Games. Like, seriously, the best example of women's booking in Stardom, Shimmer, Shine. NXT did really well. The Women's Classic was great, and that's what happens when you give them the airtime and you utilize the characters they have. And the other thing is they're trying to mix things up, so they're pushing... Look, Alicia Fox has been with the company a long time, but Alicia Fox isn't good. She's not somebody who should be on the forefront. It's cute. But we all know that they're just going to be beefing her up so she gets a chance at the title and then loses at some point in time. Or wins, who knows? Trying to bolster up a lot of these people they don't have. But when we see there's a plethora of great women's wrestlers out there that they aren't utilizing, they don't have signed for whatever, but even when they do sign them, they don't use them. Candice LeRae, Toni Storm, Piper Niven, right off the bat, those three for sure. It's not even a question to me. Give them whatever they want, but also figure out how to do well. And so, like the Monday Night Wrong, if you saw my episode on the Monday Night Wrong, which was why the women's revolution was secretly bad for women. Well, that show is a sketch. It's a joke. It's not to be taken seriously, which cracks me up how many people think that's a real conversation. April and Danielle, my two female characters, represented two sides of my brain, which I have that. Danielle wants intergender matches, which they started doing after I did that episode. I just want to point out Ellsworth versus Becky Lynch. I started talking about intergender matches and how it could be done right, and all of a sudden WWE does it. I don't know if that's a coincidence, but then April represented the idea that maybe women should have their own shows, separate but equal, and you know, don't think this is super smart or anything, but you know, like Malcolm, like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X's mentality, old original mentality, separate but equal versus inclusion. Where do you go? And so, how do you do women's wrestling well? Do you give them their own show, or do you include them and just intergender them? What's the best way? Because I feel like right now isn't working. I kind of wish they just gave the first hour of Raw to women. Give that a try. Do you think they should have fired Darren Young? No, I don't think they should have. Darren Young had a lot of potential on him, and I think they got rid of him a little too soon. What barricade do you prefer? I like the old ones, but I realize you can't. I like the old metal ones, but I'm an old school kind of guy. It's from a Zone Live on WWE Network. I wonder if there's like a female DX stable, like the Horsewomen, you know, DXX chromosome or something. I don't know. Give the ladies their own show like 205 Live, but better than 205 Live. Would you like to see Carmella cash in during Bliss versus Natalya? I forgot she had it until just now. Yeah, I think that's kind of cool. You think Raw is War will come back as like Attitude Era? Yeah, maybe. Like, you know, what I was saying earlier, like in some form, maybe. I don't, as long as they're cultivating their advertisers that they are now, no, but if that changes, yeah. Darren Young, the clone Army fail. How to tag you, but I feel like they could have interbrand tag titles. Chicks from both brands competing for it. That kind of worries me. Only because with the brand split, it makes things difficult. They're going to Corbin. Because here's the thing, if you have an interbrand belt, with all the pay-per-views they're having, which is too much already, then you're going to have it, an interbrand belt's going to be defended on even more so, and then it's going to be even more exhausting and take away the thing and to keep that rotating door policy even worse. Why was Tajiri such an underrated cruiserweight? I don't even like him as a cruiserweight. I just think he should be in the mid-card, and that's how it is. I think they just didn't... Tajiri, another guy who's super over, and, well, WWE, pattern recognition. That's all I'm going to say. They're going to Corbin Carmella with the Money in the Bank. It seems that way, like she won't win. But the division is still separate. It is, but it's still not the same because I don't get enough airtime. They took... What's your favorite entrance stage? I like the 2000 Royal Rumble with the New York City set. I thought that was pretty cool. A double degenerate. Not exactly what I meant, but yeah. She's going to cash in and lose in seconds. It seems, yeah, I do kind of feel, yeah, V-generation. How do book jobbers in the modern day? Just have jobbers. Just have no name. Like, NXT does a great job. It's just some random person, you don't know who it is, and they're trying out, and, you know, eventually you might see them come back. You know, there were a lot of people starting NXT as jobbers, but then came back as superstars, and that's, you know, or as mainstream wrestlers, and that's cool. I think you do it the same exact way. What about the women's roster is interbranded? Same thing, because then we're going to have a women's title match on every pay-per-view, so that's twice a month. A little too much. Why WWE let Enzo beat Tyler Bate? WWE stupid. Favorite running finisher? Wow, good one. Diamond Cutter and Power Slam are two right off the top of my head. Because I kind of like the running Diamond Cutter. You could bring back the NWO or DX. Who would you put in the stable? I'd bring back the NWO. I wouldn't, but if I had to, and if I preferred NWO, I would bring back. I would bring back the NWO. Who really fits the NWO criteria nowadays? I don't know. Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is in my new NWO. Let me see. Because now I'm trying to think of it as an invasion, like what the NWO originally was with the WWF guys. So I'm going to say Kevin Owens. No, so I'm trying to think of Ring of Honor people. I don't want to do Sami Zayn, but Kevin Owens. I'm trying to think of another outside dude. And I'm going to have to wrap the show up, by the way. I just caught the time. I'm going to have to start wrapping things up. Remus, sorry, yeah, what up? Too sweet, brother. Too bad. Yeah, I got to get going soon. Dude, Halloween having 1980 the best stage ever. That's not a bad answer. I mean, the pay-per-view itself was, you know, stuff happened, but NXT has cooled off a lot. Yeah, it has a lot. So It's a company problem. It cooled off a lot because they rated it for the brand split, and now they rated SmackDown. So everything just keeps funneling up to Raw, leaving everything else in its wake. But NXT's not bad. You know, it's still pretty good. Creative sponsor. Okay. Man, Kevin Owens is definitely there. What do you guys say? Who would you want to put in the new NWO? Either NWO or DX would work now with these groups of guys in front of them. Did anybody see the Taco Bell racist thing? That woman saying that Taco Bell is being racist because they're not French fries? I think that's got to be a work. That can't be real. If that's real, I'll be very, very, very saddened. Any thoughts on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in New Japan? I think they would do phenomenal there. I would love it if Kevin Owens was like a new Vader. Not like they treated him like Vader over there. Will Jericho keep up with Kenny Omega? I think he can. I mean, yeah, no, I hear you. No, I think it's possible. And plus, Jericho said he's been doing DDP. I heard one report that Jericho's been doing a lot of DDP yoga, where he was doing it periodically. Now he's doing it like every day to keep it up. Kevin Owens, there's got to be somebody else in WWE that I'm not thinking of that totally fits that NWO build, that kind of, you know, tough bad guy heel smarmy kind of thing. Like, because like part of me says The Miz, but as a WWE homer, I don't want The Miz in an incarnation of NWO, but I do think he could do well in it. New horse person, Owens, Bobby Roode, good answer. Bobby Roode I'll take for my NWO. Dave, sweet. Well, I'll go with who's the next member? Any one of you guys. Hey, Amy. New Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe. No, I wouldn't take Samoa Joe. I hear the thought. That's not bad, but that's. I feel you, Raw. I wouldn't go that route. The reason I'm not going that route is because I don't want too many lone wolf types. You know, Kevin Owens, I'm already rolling the dice on that, but I would just take it because I think he fits it pretty well. Jericho will be free in this match, not regularly like in WWE. Love Vader's helmet. Yeah, man. I like your channel because you talk about subjects not a lot of other channels touch upon. You make full videos for them. That's awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Kane Yo-Yo. Kevin Owens, the Club of Anderson. Yeah, see, that's a thought. Ooh, Nia Jax. Not bad. 2002 DX versus NWO feud could have worked with Brock Lesnar replacing Scott Hall after his departure from the group. Wow, that's just giving him too big of a... Brock Lesnar? Prime Brock Lesnar? I would like to see Bayley wrestle on Women's of Honor. Why isn't the announce table a DQ? Because it's not a foreign object. It is there at the present of the bell ringing. Just like Hogan's weightlifting belt, he was allowed to slap people with it because it's not a foreign object. It was not foreign to the match. It was already present. So therefore, it is not a foreign object. How about Cole? Oh, Adam Cole. I thought you meant Michael Cole for a minute, so I was like, oh, that's got to be a joke. Adam Cole, Bebe, Balor, Styles, and the Good Brothers. See, the thing is, Styles and Balor I like as good guys. Adam Cole's not a bad choice, though. Taking a break from cleaning. Oh, well, thank you for joining me for this time. Man, that's the other thing I wanted to mention. Jane Storm, Beer Money might be coming back on WWE form. That's the other thing. Bleed in. Impact just bleed in. They're just put them out of their misery. It's just getting sad now. DX or NWO wouldn't work nowadays because of all the... Oh, yeah, no, I mean, I hear you, Arthur. Like, it's a different era. I think a version of it could work, but DX definitely can't. But a version of NWO can. They call it the Bullet Club. New NWO, Owens, Joe, Rude, Eric Young, the Usos. I don't agree, but that's interesting. I know I'm being difficult, I'm just confused now. Can you do a video WWE Pro Wrestling inconsistencies? Are you kidding me? We could do a Lifetime series about that. Or DX NWO feud with just oh, that's on. They still need a third to make it a 3-on-3. Rockstar Spud 205 Live. Yeah. Wait, if the table isn't a foreign object, then why is a title a foreign object then? That's a good question. But they keep it on the sidelines. It's the only thing I got. I'm not saying the rules make sense. I'm just saying what I was told, by the way. Just like because believe it or not, even though wrestling's fake, there is an official rule book that exists. They don't listen to it all the time. Like, it is illegal in the WWF to throw WWE to throw someone over the top rope. They've never once disqualified, but from the holdover of when it was in NWA territory, it's there. They don't listen to it, but it's there. Eric Young is I had an experience. Sorry to hear that. You're watching Dave Knows live right now. Yeah, guys. Yeah, I gotta get going. Had a lot of fun with you. Had a lot of fun with you guys. So much to talk about. But you know, join me next week. Join me next week. Thank you for all the thumbs up, man. You guys are great. 31. You guys are awesome. Dave, please do a video where you book a storyline. It will be awesome. Oh wow, interesting. Third title defense rule. Yeah, exactly. There are things like that. Love the channel. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Hope to see you guys next week. You know, same time. Got some stuff to do right now, but thank you. Thank you for being here. And as always, it's been Dave Knows. Take care, guys.